What the hell is a water buffalo? Water Buffalo TM is back with another Buff Talk.
1. Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Old School Matt here. We are back with another Buff Talk, and today I'm joined by a special guest, my beautiful girlfriend, Annika Hansen. What's up, babe? What are we doing today? Well, she doesn't know what we're doing today. I told her we were going to do a podcast, so I decided to collect all the questions that I've gotten. Last time I asked a poll on Instagram and last night from the Water Buffalo story, and we've combined them into 5 main questions where we're going to dive in for the next 30 minutes in this podcast. So without further ado, babe, what's the first question on this list? And let's get into it. I wanted to get a female's perspective on this, and she's going to be the female. I'm going to be the male, obviously. Well, nowadays we don't know who's female, who's male, so I didn't mean to assume her gender, but we're going to get right into the question. So what's the first question, babe?
The first question is the key to diet.
Okay, the first question, the key to diet. So my understanding / my concepts of how I approach dieting. When I approach dieting, I try to implement the best case scenario and the worst case scenario. So if you're trying to lose weight and you're trying to gain weight, let's pick 2 scenarios. The best case scenario is you lose 25 pounds, and the worst case scenario is you lose 15 pounds. And what I mean by this is by being able to set these goals via body recomposition or maybe just living a healthier lifestyle, you're able to structure your diet more feasibly towards your goals and needs. So best case scenario would be lose 25 pounds. Worst case scenario would be lose 15 pounds. And then in the middle is like a sweet spot. So we'll be happy with anything more, anything less, right? So what we do is we structure the diet as best as we can around these goals. And when doing so, you have to allow yourself to have times where you're going to be obviously faulty. We're not bodybuilders. We're not professional athletes unless you are one. So the best way you can approach your diet and you can approach structuring your diet is to find a good balance somewhere in the middle ground. Not too extreme, not too like lackluster. Some good diets that I've tried before that have worked very well for me have been protein, counting my protein, so not really worrying too much about my carbohydrates or my fats, and just counting how much protein I'm taking in a day, and then letting the fats and carbs fall into place. This is something I'll typically do if I want to be putting on some weight. I like this approach because when we prioritize protein, a lot of the times everything else kind of falls in play, like I was saying before. So regardless of whatever you're doing with your fats and carbohydrates, as long as you're not overeating by a large amount, you will somewhat stay leaner. And obviously we can get into the specifics about counting calories and whatnot. But this is a pretty good approach that I found when trying to just maintain / build muscle, even when you want to lose weight. But the best diet for me, for sure, when losing weight is a lower carbohydrate diet. And we can get into the whole debate between low carb versus high carb versus counting calories and whatnot. But what works for me best is eating a lower amount of carbohydrates and planning my carbohydrates around activity. So pre and post workout, or in the morning or post cardio or whatever it might be. That's what worked best for me. But I think to generalize it to someone who's watching this video that's maybe a beginner in weight loss, I think calorie counting is a good way to keep yourself accountable and keep yourself on track for future successes, future goals, the future for achieving your goals. The reason why I say this is because I can kind of gauge how much carbs, how much protein, how much fats I need based off of my prior understanding of my body. But if you've never really done this before, you want to gauge a good, like I said, going back to the beginning, gauge a good middle ground for what works best for you. And the only way to really do this is by being aware of how many calories you're eating and how much food you're eating. So preface back to my approach to diet. I like to keep a protein counting diet. I don't really count calories per se, carbs and fats if I'm trying to maintain. If I'm trying to lose weight, obviously, like I said before, a lower carbohydrate diet works well for me. And for someone who's beginner, counting your calories is very important, but make sure you prioritize counting protein, counting your macros. Don't just count calories for the whole calories themselves. Count the individual macros, proteins, fats, carbs, and make sure you're getting all the nutrients you get via supplementation and stuff like that. But I know we're going to get into that next. But before we go into the next question, babe, as a beginner, intermediate, whatever you want to call yourself, how do you approach diet?
Okay, I thought you were going to say that counting calories was a bad thing, but I would say when you're starting out, like I would say probably pre-pandemic, I was not focused on how much I was eating, and it's very easy to overeat when you don't know how much you're consuming. So, for example, I would eat a bowl of oats, but I wasn't paying attention to how many oats I was consuming, so it'd be in a calorie surplus, and it's really hard to gauge how many calories you're eating and you're taking in. Now, I'm more aware of like how many calories I need to eat to be still in a calorie deficit, but before I would just pay attention when you're starting out, pay attention to how much you are consuming. I think it's important to count calories in the beginning, just like Matt said. Also, something that helps when you're trying to eat clean is to look up the benefits of healthy foods. I think it's important to not only be in a calorie deficit when you're starting out and trying to stick to a diet, but also to eat clean, because you can still be in a calorie deficit and eat cookies, eat 2 meals, and then have a dessert, as long as you're like, paying attention. But it doesn't really help you nutritionally if you're not taking in the right foods. So make sure that you're eating clean, look up the nutritional benefits of certain foods. And then another thing is, I would say just to cut out snacks. When you're snacking, it's really easy to overconsume. And so I would say make sure you're eating just breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Try to eat meals and try to pack as many nutrients as you can into the 3 meals that you eat a day, and try not to snack as much. And that's basically what I would say as far as diet is concerned.
Cool. So let's get into the next question, babe. What's the next question that we got?
The key to training.
Okay, the key to training. So training is where I actually really enjoy. Fitness is probably the best thing that I like out of this whole debacle that we like to call a lifestyle. For training, for me, I like to train pretty much every muscle group at least once a week. Sometimes I'll do stuff twice a week, but and as I'll get later into the training aspect of things, and I think there's another question that's going to relate to what I'm talking about now. But I have switched my training a lot to not only just bodybuilding type training. I've incorporated boxing and combat sports and powerlifting as well. So I have a lot of moving pieces in my training, and that's something that I feel like is pretty important for people to do, unless you're, like I said, a professional athlete or you're trying to compete at a higher level in any of the 3 things that I just mentioned. But if you're just a regular gym goer and you want to always switch up your fitness routine, I think it's a really good thing as long as you keep somewhat of a structure. Like I said, my base minimum is to hit everything at least once a week. Sometimes, like I said, I'll hit something twice a week. Maybe it's arms, maybe it's calves or whatever. But I try to hit everything minimum once a week. And I try to stay routine with when I hit things. So every 7 days, I'm going to be hitting the muscle group that I hit the week before, or at least every five or 6 days. I like to take some rest in between, because I do pretty much go as hard as I can and really kill myself in terms of sets and whatnot. I do a lot of high volume work, so I do need the days to recover. And I think that the most important thing in my training is that I try to incorporate different styles of training, not just what I said about the boxing, powerlifting, whatnot, but just centralizing it around bodybuilding. I like to change things up between heavyweight, lightweight, giant sets, and a bunch of different things that I'll get into in another podcast. But to make an overview of what I do in terms of my training. Some days you like to hit certain exercises that require a certain rep range, and some days you like to hit exercises that require a more or less a rep range. For example, squats might be something that you want to use to go a little bit heavier on. But then on the contrary, there might be a day where you want to do a high volume squat day where you're doing 25, 30 reps at a time. And I think this is important in people's training programs. Again, if you're an average gym goer that wants to build muscle and just enjoy the lifestyle of going to the gym, because it adds novelness or novelty, or whatever you want to call it. It adds a new aspect of your training, and it keeps your body on edge, per se, to always be challenging itself. I think it gets really boring doing the same shit all over, like the same exercises over and over again, the same rep ranges. So change it up. I would always say keep a base amount of exercises, a base amount of structure in your workout program. But like I said, if you're not training for a powerlifting meet, you're not training to be specifically good in anything, you just want to live a healthy and good lifestyle, I think changing up the training is really important. I think trying new and different exercises is very important, as long as you're keeping a structured balance between all the muscle groups and all the exercises that are pretty set in stone, like a squat, bench, deadlift, rows, overhead press. Keep all that in there. But if you want to try some new workouts and whatnot, definitely give it a go. I think it's really important. But I'm going to turn it over to you, babe. How do you approach your training? Because we haven't really worked out super intensely together. We work out around each other, and I kind of know how she trains. She kind of trains very similar to the way I train, but how do you approach your workouts, babe?
So I have my split every week that I do, but the way that I like to just do my workout is not to waste time in the gym. I think that's really important for me. To keep track of my rest periods. If I waste too much time, your heart rate goes down. It just doesn't feel as efficient for me. Another thing that I find really important when you're training is stretching. I think that people underestimate the value of stretching a lot. And if you do that, I feel like your workouts are not going to be as beneficial to you if you don't give your muscles the rest that they need and the stretch that they need. So Matt and I have been lacking on our stretching together. We used to do it every Sunday, but we don't really do it anymore. I feel like Matt has been lacking on that a lot. But those are kind of the two things that I do. I could probably be better at switching up my exercises. But for the most part, I keep the daily routine the same. And Matt's really good at giving me new exercises to try on my workout days.
Real quick, have you ever tried training in like circuits and stuff like that? I feel like you have.
I think I have, yeah.
Like when you, I remember one time I woke up and she was doing like a 25-minute like workout.
It was like
circuit.
an hour workout, but yeah.
Yeah, at your house. Do you like that better, or do you like lifting weights better?
No, I don't know. I feel like sometimes I like full body workout days too. I know that people think they're like overwhelming, but I like doing things that are like endurance training too. So like, you're giving your muscles endurance training instead of just strength training. I haven't really done that much since I've been working out with you just because it's like a lot easier to do strength here, but I should probably get back into that.
Got you. And just the last point on training, I think that there's no one way to approach training. I think training could be very personalized depending on how you enjoy and what you like to do. So don't take one thing for the end all be all. Definitely like experiment with things you like and do multiple things. I challenge you to do multiple things, not just to stick to one workout because you think it's the best case scenario.
And also just find out what your goals are. It's like different things work differently for people. So just find out what you need and educate yourself on the best way to achieve that goal, and then find out what you like and how to get there.
100%. And I would say cardio is very important too. It's something I didn't really hit on, but make sure you do your cardio. She doesn't. All right, next question.
The key to sleep.
The key to sleep. The key to sleep for me is being so fucking tired every day that you just want to go to bed. I think there are multiple things that are key to sleep for me. Ever since, to be completely honest, ever since we started dating, we started sleeping next to each other, obviously, and I haven't really been super attentive with my book reading. But for people, I'm serious. For people that are at home and they're able to kind of settle down on their own, I think reading a book before you go to bed is a really, really, really good tool into putting yourself to sleep, because it helped me a lot when I was, I would say earlier of 2020, like before the quarantine started. I started reading books pretty frequently, and then I still read, but I just don't read before I go to bed as much anymore. So I definitely think that reading before you go to bed helps you sleep. I also think that taking away screens before you go to bed, at least 10 minutes, helps you sleep. Like, do not fall asleep like scrolling on Instagram. Give yourself some time to chill out, maybe 10, maybe 15 minutes of just like relaxing and sitting there. Also recently, she's got me into like sounds when I go to sleep. So like no, I'm serious, like rain sounds and stuff like that. I think that helps. I used to do that back in the day with like my phone, but now I have like an Alexa, so like the rain sounds help a lot. But I think the biggest thing about sleep, and we can get into it, like I said, this is going to be a pretty overview-y type podcast. We're not going to get into the specifics, and we'll hit on other things later on a different episode with more qualified people, not her. Just kidding. But I think that just being busy and having like a schedule will force you to be able to sleep. Because like, I'm not saying people that have insomnia are like lazy and have no lives or anything. Like, trust me, I understand. I used to have a little bit of a sleeping problem back in the day, but I think it was because I just didn't have anything to wake up for. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like nowadays that I have a lot of stuff going on, like my body just kind of shuts down. So that's my approach to sleep. There's like supplements, stuff like that. Like I said, overview. The biggest thing, I would say 60 to 70% of why I'm able to sleep well is because I know that I have a busy day the next day, and I try to make myself tired throughout the day so I'm not sitting in bed. Because if you sit in your house all day long and you don't do anything, like obviously you're not going to be tired when you go to bed. You know what I mean? So just keep yourself busy, keep yourself active is really important. And I promise you, your sleep will get even a little bit better. But babe, what's your take?
That's in terms, I would say, if you can't sleep or if you have trouble sleeping. If you're asking more like how to get good sleep or a good night's rest, I would say get in a routine. Creating a routine for yourself, it makes your life so much easier. I think setting a bedtime and trying to get up every morning and then doing what you need to do in the morning and then getting it done and out of the way and just creating a morning routine, I think helps so much. So just be diligent with like what time you go to bed and what time you wake up. And then you'll be tired by the time you go to bed again. By the time you wake up, you'll be ready. Your body will adjust. So that's a good way to make sure you get adequate amount of sleep. If you have trouble sleeping because you're stressed out or something, remember that when you're trying to go to sleep, how you can't stop thinking about all the stuff you have to do, and then get up the next morning and make sure you get it done. So that by the time you go to bed, you can feel good about the things that you achieved that day. And that would just basically be what I say about sleep.
Okay.
The next one is supplements.
Okay, so we got about 15 minutes left. We're trying to keep this podcast under 30 minutes. Supplements. So this one I'll expand on a little bit. So what are the supplements that I take? This is probably something that people are going to want to listen to. So the supplements and steroids that I take. No, I'm just kidding. The supplements that I take for health and wellness. I take a multivitamin. I take a fish oil pill. I take a vitamin D3 pill. I am now taking a nootropic by the name of ginkgo biloba. I take L-theanine. I also take alpha GPC, and I also take turmeric and fiber like every 3 days. I haven't been taking turmeric, honestly, because I haven't had any turmeric in like the past 2 months. But I usually do fiber every like 2 or 3 days, just to help me digest my food better. I feel like I get a good amount of fiber from my diet, but I always try to just add a little bit of a boost. Anytime I feel bloated or after any like big meal, usually every 2 or 3 days, I'll take some fiber. But just to backtrack on the reasons why I take certain supplements. So I take a multivitamin like an insurance policy. I'm pretty sure I get a lot of my nutrients from the foods I eat, or the nutrients that I want from the foods I eat, but I always take it just to cover me. The reason why I take a fish oil is because fish oil is coming out with like not fish oil itself, but the research on fish oil has been tremendous over the past couple of years, and it's really been game changing in terms of health and longevity, with heart health. There's a whole bunch of stuff, dementia, even making fish oil is making strides on being able to help you focus more. It's people are considering it a nootropic now, and then you have the blood thinning effect, and you have the effect that it has on your joints, keeping your joints lubricated. So there's so many different benefits out there, but I take it for a more long-term sort of health. I think that it's really important, and I think that it offers a lot of insight on, or not insight, a lot of help on the different issues that you might come along later in life. Because fish oil is not really prevalent in any of the fish that we eat unless you're eating wild caught fish all day long. And even then you would have to eat them like pretty much every meal. So fish oil is probably number one. I just say multivitamin first because everyone knows what a multivitamin is. Vitamin D3. Vitamin D3 helps with hormone production, specifically testosterone production. And you get vitamin D3 from the sun. You can't really get it from food, but we're not able to be out in the sun every day. Also, you have to be exposed to the sun like fully. So like you'd have to basically be like in your bathing suit or naked outside and getting like 20 to 40 minutes of sunlight every day. And even though I do live in Florida, it's not sometimes possible for me to do that. And the sun has to be like perfectly shining on you. So basically the best way to get vitamin D3 is through supplementation. So I take vitamin D3. The nootropics I take, ginkgo biloba, is for long-term longevity and health as well. It also does have short-term focus benefits. But dementia has run in my family for a long time, so it's been proven many time and time again that it helps prevent against dementia. Also, theanine I take with my morning coffee because theanine adds a boost to the amount of caffeine intake your body's able to kind of process. And what I mean by that is that it takes the caffeine that's there and it almost doubles it, if that kind of resonates with whoever's watching this. It allows the caffeine to work better. So you can take caffeine at a lesser dosage and get double the effect. essentially from the studies that are out there about it. And there's a lot of literature that's now coming out about how it has benefits for relaxation and keeping yourself in like a flow state. The next supplement I take, what did I say? Turmeric for like recovery purposes. I don't know really too much about it, but I was like on this wave where I was taking turmeric and fiber every 2 days, and I explained why I took fiber earlier. But there's also one more supplement that I just started experimenting with, and that is maca. Maca is a wellness supplement that helps reduce anxiety and stress and whatnot. I don't know if it's helped me at all, so I'm just putting it out there. I started taking it because it's a Peruvian herb, and I just wanted to try it out. So I take maca. And now in terms of the bodybuilding side of things, I take essential amino acids post-workout, and I also take, obviously, our buff sauce, which is a pre-workout. I think that any sort of pre-workout that offers you a little bit of a boost without compromising, too much stimulants is a great, and it's a tool that you can use to help increase your training output, especially if you're living a busy life. It allows you to train better, work better, and function better. So a pre-workout, not too high stim, with reasonable dosages, like buff sauce and essential amino acid supplement is all I take right now in terms of bodybuilding type of stuff. But I'm going to shut up, and I'm going to throw it over to you because we are slowly running out of time.
The keto supplements, I would just say, I'm not like big. I mean, I'm big on supplements. Like, what are you doing?
What?
What did you just do?
No, I just turned it down a little bit because you're like screaming into the mic. Ah!
Oh, sorry. I'm big on supplements. I think they're really important. I think the key to taking them is just, again, looking up the benefits. Your body is so powerful, and honestly, it's so intricately designed, and it's really so incredible how you just need to support your body and it'll do everything it needs to do for you. So just look up the benefits of supplements, and you'll realize how important they are, and your body will work better if you support it well. So all the supplements he takes, they're really great. I mean, if you want to know what to take, he probably can tell you more, but just support your body the best way that you can. That's really all I would say, is just realize
what supplements do you take? No, I'm serious. You take supplements, don't you?
I take like just a pack of them. Like my mom,
what is it?
I don't know all the names of them, but like my mom used to work in a nutrition shop, so she just brings home a bunch of supplements and she like tells me what to take.
You don't know what's in it?
No, not all of them, but like it's a lot.
I was gonna make a joke, but I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah, well, whatever. So that's really all that I would say about it. It's just, it like makes you feel really good to know that you're treating your body well. Just like appreciate your body for what it does for you and support it the best way that you can. And that's what I'd say about that. The last question, because we got to get moving, is the key to enjoying fitness.
Oh, okay. So the key to enjoying fitness, I think this is a good question, but I'm gonna let you go first and I'm gonna close it out.
Wow, that's a tough one. I don't really know. I feel like everything that we just talked about was like, enjoying fitness.
You said that really
I think be consistent is the key to enjoying fitness, is just stay consistent, do the best that you can, and you'll see results, and then you get addicted to the results, essentially, is what I would say. Like, if you're doing the wrong things every day and you're not paying attention to the foods that you eat and the amount of water that you drink, that's something we also should be touched on, is like hydration. I try
to take some questions that I got on a recent poll the older poll that I got, and I got some questions on Water Buffalo's like Instagram that were like specific towards muscle groups, but we'll hit on that another time. But I just wanted to get like the more basic questions that I feel like more people would resonate with. But sorry, continue.
Like I said, just make sure that you're getting a well-rounded experience of the whole thing. Don't just focus on strength training or going to the gym. Make sure that you focus on nutrition, you focus on hydration, you focus on stretching, and then once you start seeing results and you get into a routine of what you're doing, it becomes really exciting, I think. And also you start to appreciate and you start to grow in all the things that your body can do, and you're getting stronger and you're getting more capable. And it's just, it really is addicting to see like what your body is capable of when you challenge it to new things. So, I mean, it's really easy to enjoy it if you do it the right way.
I think that the key to fitness is kind of piggybacking off what you said. Obviously, what you said was great and dandy and whatnot, but just kidding. The key to fitness for me right now is finding a thing or a couple things you enjoy in the fitness industry or in the fitness lifestyle, and learn about them, but grow them all together. So for example, I really enjoyed bodybuilding for a long time, and I was decent at boxing. I was like kind of learning about it in high school, but I never really took in powerlifting or anything like that. And recently, as I wanted to expand my training and just like take on more things, I started to get into powerlifting. I started to get more into boxing last year, and just finding different things that really sit with you, whether that be like mountain biking or running or I don't know, pole vaulting or whatever the hell, pole dancing, for example, whatever's your cup of tea. I think that finding something that you can get good at, learn about, watch, practice with other people, I think that it's really enjoyable. If you just sit and you like, all you do is bodybuild, or all you do is box, or all you do is ride bikes, or all you do is run or roller skate, unless you like try to be elite at the top level, eventually there's going to be a time where you get kind of bored of it, because it is boring. Like I said, it's not the most fun thing in the world just to lift weights. It gets tiring ever so often. So find new ways, stretching, yoga. There's so many different avenues. I can name 1,000 of them. But finding new ways and finding new things that really spark your interest, learning about them, doing them with people, also watching it. If it's a professional sport, it's a lot of fun, and you can learn about like the history and all this type of stuff. So you can get really in depth with all these things, and you never know, you might be really good at something that you could do something with your future doing so. So that's my key to fitness. So let's kind of close out this podcast. I really appreciate your perspective today, babe. Hopefully we'll be able to do some more podcasts in the future. What else do you have to say?
Nothing really. Nothing really.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah, we'll definitely do some more stuff in the future. We want to dive into some more topics regarding fitness and wellness, and thankfully we both kind of think very similarly on the way that we view our health and wellness. So we'll definitely do some more stuff in the future. Thank you guys for asking those questions. I have some more that I'm going to keep for another podcast with another one of our Water Buffalo squad members, aka Nick Franklin. There's some good questions on there. People were asking us questions about SARMs and different sorts of performance enhancing supplements that I would not speak with her about because she doesn't know. But without further ado, thank you guys for watching this Buff Talk. For Annika Hansen, I am Matt Wynn. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys stay tuned for this video and all the other ones out there. And please make sure to check us out on Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, all of the above. We will see you guys soon.
Hey guys, thank you guys for checking out this video. Make sure to go check out all of our other podcasts, Buffalo Barbecues, our Buffalo workouts, and also a slew of other things, including challenges and whatnot. So make sure to check out all of these different things. Thank you guys for watching. I am Old School Matt here, and this is Water Buffalo TM. Peace.